From WCIA 3 Plus, with Mitchell Wright and Adam Sherwinski. This is Binging with the Boys.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Mitchell Rife. Binging with the Boys, episode 1000. Just kidding, we're not there yet.
Wow, that's impressive.
A little,
that many.
a little bold move from me. We got
That's a
Adam
bold move
Sherwinski
there,
here.
Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
It's a bold move there, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off with him.
It doesn't pay off. I am Adam, by the way.
That is a dodgeball quote. That's a great movie.
Speaking of movies, there we go. Welcome to Binging with the Boys, right?
That's true. I had notes pulled up, but I had to delete Google Docs, so I'm going to pull it back up again. But we're talking indie movies today.
Yeah.
We just saw a movie yesterday, Adam.
An indie movie.
Take it away. You had a little bit more of a background on this movie than I may have had.
So the whole thing started with I was on the internet, during our show, and I just looked at Mitchell and I looked up and said we should go see Iron Lung, the movie that just came out from Markiplier, aka, or literally his real name is Mark Fishbach, but aka his YouTube name is Markiplier.
Thanks for joining. It's Markiplier.
Hey everybody, it's Markiplier.
Hey, everybody, it's Markiplier.
I've been watching Markiplier since he did Five Nights at Freddy's back in, about over 10 years ago at this point. It'd probably be 10, 12 years ago. But I remember watching his Let's Plays because, he was the one who kind of amped up the excitement for that series. And since then, they've had 2 movies and a bunch of books and a bunch of games from Scott Cawthon. But I will say that I have always enjoyed Mark's demeanor. He's very fun. He's very personable. He's very into his games. That's how he kind of talks.
He is very, very. I don't want to say monotone, but he's got a low voice. And we were chatting that his voice is very
great.
iconic.
I love his voice.
I wish he made a cameo in Five Nights at Freddy's. And you said that yesterday
during the movie.
theater. Yeah.
But and this is not a movie that normally I would pitch to Mitchell. Mitchell, you'll agree with that. I'm not much of a scary movie guy, and I wouldn't say it's a scary movie. It's a thriller movie.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, it's more of like a bottle movie where you're you're setting one scene, one setting.
Right.
Normally in a bottle movie, there's very few,
if any,
actors or characters in this movie. There's basically
I think
one.
there's one, maybe 3.
Is maybe the biggest one. Obviously, is the main character
one, yeah.
and the only one kind of on screen. For
Yeah,
the most
you
part.
see 2 people, maybe
Except
3.
For when he kind of gets
let out. Yeah, we're getting too in far.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's based off the video game Iron Lung, which is an indie game as well, by David Szymanski, something like that. But he is also credited with the idea from this movie, or given credit, it's based off his game, which is a game you can buy on Steam. Not that I'm promoting the game, I'm just saying it is a video game that is available to the public. And I watched Markiplier's playthrough of Iron Lung because this is a movie that he produced. I don't know if he directed for sure, but he basically was the financier using his own money for this.
Good thing I've got IMDb pulled up.
Oh, great.
Mark was the director, the convict, and the screenwriter for this movie.
So director, actor, screenplay. I mean, he was the guy.
We kind of see a lot of these online personalities a little bit more in the movie scene or in the, I guess, just concept or, just media in general. You're seeing them kind of grow and evolve, and it's kind of cool to see someone that
I love watching
for a while.
YouTubers too. Like Mark's one of my favorites. There's a couple other organizations and people who are on YouTube and do YouTube stuff that I enjoy too. Some more than others. You get older, you're not as interested in some of the others.
PewDiePie.
Yeah, we both said PewDiePie before.
That was last episode. Yeah, we mentioned that.
We mentioned PewDiePie.
It would be cool to see him.
Who's not even doing YouTube anymore.
I was gonna say yesterday during the movie that it would be cool to see PewDiePie in a movie, but I also am like, I don't see him on YouTube.
I was waiting for Jacksepticeye.
To be honest, right? Wasn't he gonna make?
I thought he was supposed to be on it. I don't remember if Jacksepticeye wasn't. Top of the morning to you.
Could have been a voice. Could have been a voice.
I don't remember hearing.
But knowing Jack, I feel like he'd want to be a little bit on
Hey,
screen.
you know what? He's in Dispatch. Him and Most Critical are doing Dispatch. So
really,
yeah, they're both got characters in Dispatch, which we can talk about that. But
I was gonna say, I just also don't think PewDiePie would want to. He's happy being a father, and he's shockingly got ripped. In his later age.
He's very much like, I have done YouTube. I have climbed the peaks of Mount Everest of YouTube, and I'm done.
He is kind of the peak, and
he's
in a lot of sense.
He doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
He's made his money.
He's kind of going with the flow, and relaxing now. With what's his wife's name? Marta or something. I can't remember.
Oh, I don't remember his last name, but
No, his wife's name.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah. But no, he's just living his life. Anyway, we're talking about YouTubers, right? So yeah, it's a game based off the game Iron Lung. This is his, I think, second outing doing something live action with cameras and everything. The next one I can think of that's not streaming is Markiplier in Space. That was another thing that he's worked on too, which I haven't watched Markiplier in Space.
Yeah, it's called Markiplier or In Space with Markiplier.
In Space with Markiplier. You're right.
But.
This is his first movie in theaters.
It looks like it's his first movie, first theatrical release, which
not his first acting role, but his first big acting role. So I would say that what I think is the most impressive is that it's an indie film. It already has eclipsed its budget by, I think, 7 times the amount that was put in. $3 million. $3 million.
I was going to say, put that out there. What was the budget you found?
I think it was roughly $3 million, and then he's got over 21 million worldwide.
That's
so far. And this past weekend was opening weekend, so we've got time.
And I'm sure it wasn't easy to make some sort of movie like that, because your first one in a theatrical release, for it to be a bottom movie, I think it limits you as an actor to, but it
also
only
cuts
do
down on
certain
costs.
Right. It cuts down on costs, which is exactly the way to go. He's also a YouTuber, so movie theatrical releases, this is not his forte just yet. But
No.
who's to say this could kind of evolve into something a little bit bigger? I think he's got some range.
We can talk about that in a minute. I think for me, what I'm excited about with Mark is that it opens up the gates to other things than him just being a, not streamer, because he doesn't really stream, but he does Let's Plays. And so this opens up the door to more opportunities. Not that he didn't have any, but he's got so many different videos. And I know he likes to be creative. He likes to try new things and do new things. So we're excited for this. Again, Markiplier is a cool dude. It's cool to watch him see this his wings kind of soar.
Yeah.
And again, this is a really cool movie. Now the game itself, Iron Lung, I took the time to watch.
I was gonna say you watched some Let's Play.
I watched him do his Let's Play.
Okay, but you've never played it though?
No,
Okay.
I've never played it. It's like $4 on I think Steam right now if you want to go get it. But everyone's talking about it because the movie came out.
Yeah. I'm surprised it hasn't gone up in price since the conversation.
No, it's a very.
I was gonna say
it's an indie game. It's an indie game
probably
too.
not gonna do something like that.
No, it's an indie game. That's like when Five Nights at Freddy's got really popular. It didn't go up in price. It just stayed as is.
Also, he should have made a cameo. I'll say that again in Five Nights at Freddy. That would have been cool, or at least a couple other YouTubers.
Yeah. So
regardless,
with the Iron Lung, I watched him do his Let's Play, and as I watched it, the game itself is 100% like the movie. The quote, "This is not." Which spoilers, this is not an expedition, it's an execution, is in the game too as well.
Yeah.
The computers, I think that computer is in the game, the notes are in the game, the flash button is in the game, everything. If you play the game, you know what to expect, but it's Simon's story that we are tapping into, Markiplier's character, the convict as he's called too.
Now, I got a question for you.
I got an answer.
Because it's a bottle movie, there's not going to be a lot of context or a lot of background. That's like the whole point is to throw you in the middle of something.
But we get those. You get through his flashbacks and stuff.
Sort of flashbacks, but
and his psychosis.
I also, watching the movie, having no background of Iron Lung, a little bit, but background only on basically Markiplier. It would have been cool to see more background on the company, on who is making him go down. Right. But that's the thing.
But I think the mystery of it is what sells it.
Creates the suspense and the thrill.
Because I think the creator, does the game itself, it doesn't give you anything. Literally, when you start the game is how you start the movie. It's the same thing. You just go on expedition. They tell you what they're looking for, and you just start playing the game.
Yeah, and I think that kind of probably will create a little bit more love for the gaming world to see that
it already has
the real way to enjoy this movie, I think, is to watch or play the game or watch someone play the game and then go watch it. Because watching it, I'm like, I really wish that I had watched some Let's Play beforehand. But I mean, not doing it, it's okay.
The concept behind it is the fear of the unknown, right?
Yeah,
he's
being lost and
pretty much lost,
and giving the audience that same feeling where you have no idea what's going on.
You're no concept of time, nothing. I mean,
it's like being in a casino.
Except there's no drink service or food, or you're stuck to your chair.
And instead of my money, they're stealing. It's kind of
my mental capacity.
Yeah, everything.
And my oxygen.
And my life.
So anyway, this is basically the game. The game throws you right into the sub. You pretty much do this. It's the same thing with him. They throw him right in the sub and go from there. So we're as much as information as you are getting in the beginning of that movie, I think is actually more than what you're getting from the game. The game just throws you in to begin, and you go from there and you start playing.
Is this from the movie? Is this a game that you would then play, or would you say from the fan base starting on the game. This is a movie you would want to watch.
Now I want to play the game actually.
Yeah, because I'm very curious to feel the suspense of the POV. I wish they did a lot more GoPro camera footage of Markiplier in his own space. I love the montage scene where he's finally almost locked into how to maneuver the submarine. Or
You have to speed it along a little bit. It's a submarine, kind of. It's the Iron Lung.
But yeah, I enjoy the fact that they kind of went through that montage where he got comfortable. You almost felt like he was not safe, but you were like, he's got to figure it out.
He might figure it out.
And then the whole rescue, he's going to be fine. I was buying into the fact that Markiplier would.
Yeah, we don't want to give away too many spoilers because this movie just came out, and I want you to go see it.
Yeah, you should definitely go see it.
Helping out Markiplier, and you're helping out indie movies. And
just to represent
it's
indie
not a bad
films,
movie. I would say as a standalone movie, I was just talking with Sam, shout out Sam, one of our coworkers downstairs, and he and I talked about it because he saw the movie too. And he
did. Okay.
And he said that the only gripe that he had about the whole movie is that he just wished it was a little bit shorter. 2 hours is maybe too long for that movie.
Was it a 2-hour runtime?
It was 2 hour runtime.
Yeah, I would say that as much as I want there to be more depth with Markiplier,
I want more details.
The script, obviously, or the
details,
setting of it probably doesn't give it enough breath.
But that's the point.
It does a 2-hour runtime.
You're cut
which
off
is the
from a lot
point,
of
right?
things.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kind of like with Five Nights at Freddy's, the game, because he does a lot of horror games and scary games, and this is one of them that I wouldn't say it's horror, but it is creep you out.
And you know what?
It's scary.
To be honest,
it's a little creepy at times.
The thing I think Five Nights at Freddy didn't do well is they didn't keep it very bottled.
No, the movie did not do that.
You very much feel freeformed.
Yeah.
It made the monsters much less scary.
Whereas in the game, you are just stuck in a chair.
They used Josh Hutcherson.
He plays
PETA.
Mike.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say PETA from Hunger Games.
Yeah, but he's Mike. But his character is Mike, I think.
And you know what? I hate saying this, but I love saying this. He's a great actor, but, he's almost a pretty boy cast when it's a little bit easier to cast someone in that role. Mm-hmm. And it just maybe falls to be distracting.
I haven't seen the second one yet, but I will tell you that the
Five Nights at Freddy 2?
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one yet. I've heard it wasn't as good as the first one was. All right. We'll talk more about Iron Lung and probably weave back and forth between video games and this movie and all that stuff. And we'll keep hitting that flash button to make sure we know where we're at.
Yep. Well, yeah. We'll keep talking about indie movies coming up right after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We're back. That was a long break. You missed us. I'm Mitchell Reif. Welcome back to Binging with the Boys. We're talking indie movies today. Yay. We've got Adam Sherwinski in the house.
Hello.
Adam, how you doing today?
Try to feel warm. We're weather-wise, we've been so cold lately, and I'm just,
Let's do a hit. What's coming up tonight? I'm just kidding.
I'm not doing a weather hit right now.
No.
These are not the weather hit clothes.
No, that's true. But we've been talking about movies. We have,
we just saw Iron Lung.
We just saw Iron Lung.
Our main focal point, I would say.
I want to try to vague this out or zoom out because I feel like that makes it a little bit more applicable maybe to more audiences.
Yeah.
Indie movies, don't get a lot of raps for a big reason because there's not a lot of money in them to then dive into the marketing and the advertising.
I think that this is an opportunity for indie movies to make, not a comeback, obviously, because they're still around and they'll always be around.
But I think to grow momentum.
I think it's to give momentum and say, hey, not all big budget movies are great and small budget movies can be fantastic too.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's going to be it's in their favor. It's overall going to be in the favor. Now, granted, the financier for the whole thing was Markiplier, so very independent. Mm-hmm. So I think that what was it? Iron Lung was the name of the company, the production company.
Iron Lung. It was
company.
Iron Lung, like
LLC or something like that. And I was like, huh?
Because it was like 3 weeks before, and then one of the managers was like, "We need an LLC for this, Mark." And he was like, "You know what?
Iron Lung.
Just name it Iron Lung."
Yeah. I think I told somebody at work. This is totally off topic, but somebody the other day I was like, "Oh, we went to go see Iron Lung," and they're like, "What's that about?" The iron lungs that they had for. The machines, the iron lungs, you know what I'm talking about, right? Mm-hmm. Those machines. And I was like, no, it's about a ship.
One for your list, I would say, is Before We Go. It is considered an independent, but it's a romantic dramedy, like drama comedy, but I wouldn't say it's very comedic. It is with Chris Evans and Alice Eve. I'm not sure who she's from, but she seems very familiar. Star Trek. She's in Men in Black. She
sounds familiar.
Freelance. I wish I could switch this monitor around so I could show you what I'm looking at. But
Probably
regardless,
you can figure that out one day.
yeah,
maybe we'll play around.
We'll play around. You know, we'll get there one day. But it's a good movie. Chris Evans, Alice Eve, and before we go, Chris Evans plays this guy. He's this trumpet player in the city in the New York area. You know, he's not making a lot of money. He's trying to make it into a band, or into the symphony. I think locally somewhere.
Sounds
he's
like the
trying to
beginning of
audition.
Soul.
Right. Yeah. Very, very similar, but it doesn't take off because a lot of things with indie movies is it almost feels like it's stagnant the entire time. And I think a lot of the reason for that is because the directors want, focus, or the writers maybe on the storyline or on maybe the heartbreak. So in this movie, without giving
but they want to make it real because not everything in the world goes from like, it's not that upward
bad to
lift.
great.
Bad
Exactly.
to great, or great to amazing. Like,
Right.
There's not necessarily a rise in life. Life doesn't have to go this massive roller coaster. It's more like just.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you haven't seen this movie, it's not gonna give you the nice resolution at the end as a romance
Neither
movie.
did
What's
Iron Lung.
crazy? What's
Neither
crazy?
did Iron Lung.
This movie, they don't end up together.
Yeah.
Alice is engaged in the movie, and she's fighting the fact that she's away from her fiance, but she meets Chris Evans, who's this who is Chris Evans, Captain America, but he's a trumpet player. Regardless, he kind of like walks her through the city. They're looking for her purse because it gets stolen. He just helps her out, and then the entire time the audience is kind of led through this like they're gonna fall in love, they're gonna fall in love, they're gonna fall in love. They enjoy a night in the city, and then at the end he goes, it was great meeting you. Like thanks, I'm really glad I met you. Like. And that is
they do such a rug pull.
It is not a rug pull, but the entire time you feel like the character of Chris is not flirting, is more so just lending a helping hand. And obviously, from our backtrack, our history of having these romance movies, we know
just think it's
we
gonna
know
be-
how the end is. You know, they're going to end up together. They're going to have a big kiss scene, but yeah, it never happens. And so the first time I watched that, I was like, really like not dug, but I was like,
You're like,
whoa,
you're
like,
kind of thrown for a
I was left out with something. So yeah, I think a lot of indie movies like to do that and give a little bit more credit to a different style of storytelling. It's pretty good.
The ending of Iron Lung. We're going to go back to Iron Lung real quick, just because that's the freshest one in our mind. It does not have a happy ending, but the game itself doesn't have a happy ending either. So I just got to throw that out there. I think the coolest thing about that too is that, and I know it's a bottle movie, and just reeling back to Iron Lung, is that the set, if you play the game, the set is 100%. You already know it mapped out in your mind. If you watched Markiplier play it, you already have it mapped out in your mind. It's very simple.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a very easy setup for sure.
Even the valves on some of the steams and where the radio are exactly where they would be
in the game. Knowing him though as a gamer, I almost expect that those details, those small things, because like we're gonna look for that. Those fan bases of any sort of like we talked about Uncharted last episode, and of course you're gonna be thinking about those little things that Nathan needs to be doing during his exploring.
So I do like that attention to detail. It proves that Mark is serious about that. Is serious about that. Serious about games become movies,
and giving justice to the fan base because he also knows that we're going to be looking for that.
He plays the game. He played the game. He liked the game.
I think that's great though when you come from that nerd background and then you get into the main media of creation, and all of a sudden it's like like what did you say last episode? We were like, oh, it's almost like directors are listening to the fan base and reading the comics.
It's almost like if you hire a nerd, if you hire somebody to direct or write a movie that's based on a thing that they like, it's
almost like they're going to have passion in doing it correcely. Right? Yeah.
Kind of like, what's a great example of that? The Witcher, the first season. I mean, you gave me a look. What was that look?
Well, it's just a Henry Cavill look.
Henry Cavill was like,
he got jibbed from a little bit. It sounds like.
Yeah, he was like taking the book though, and he was smacking it, and it was like, guys, we got to follow this. It's kind of like it's kind of like with Lord of the Rings when they have Christopher Lee. He's like, that's definitely not how you stab a man. This is how you stab a man because he did that in World War II. But also, he's like, I actually got to meet Tolkien. I know Tolkien. We were friends.
Wow.
This is how he would want this, or this is how he would not want this. And he would tell that to Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson and him would talk about that because who's the only other person? Because Tolkien was dead by that point, and Christopher, like, yeah, I can tell you what,
Yeah, I guess
what
so.
JRR would want. Or
Another,
Pokemon.
I was gonna say another big reference for that is there's a clip out there that a lot of people might have seen. James Gunn and then David Cornsweet. Is it Cornsweet or Cornsweet?
I don't know.
I don't know. The new guy who plays Superman, offset. They're like combating about the last scene when Superman is busting into Lex Luthor's kind of territory or whatnot, and he's talking to him about. Why should I be yelling at Lex about being human? This should be the scene that I'm like this and I'm overpowering him. And James Gunn is the one that goes, no. This is where you show the audience your humanity. And that's part of being Superman. And I think that sticking true to at least what the character is and pushing the momentum in a way that kind of bends the audience's love for the character is kind of a cool thing too.
So wheeling it back to Iron Lung, because we were just talking about obviously how much fans and creative people really do service for their creative projects if they're fans of the project itself. Yeah. Anyway, what was your favorite thing about it?
Favorite thing about the Iron Lung movie?
The Iron Lung movie, yes.
I really liked the reveal. I mean, it wasn't like necessarily a reveal that Markiplier was there.
Spoiler alert.
But yeah, spoiler alert, Markiplier is the star of the movie. But when he takes his hood off, that was the first scene that I was like, finally, he's entered the acting world. And I haven't watched him as much as maybe Adam has or maybe other bigger fans, but I have seen Markiplier for a lot of years. And
hey, everybody, it's Markiplier.
I've always been like, a lot of his fan base likes his voice.
Marky Moo.
And he's got a very low, very
It's
powerful,
low, but it's got a little roundness to it.
Yeah. Like if you wanted someone to narrate a book for you, that's the guy you want.
Yeah.
You just know he's going to get all those words. But I'm excited to see him in the acting world, and I've always thought that he would maybe be very proficient in that. I think
my favorite part was when he starts to go down the rabbit hole of. So we were talking about that. Is it a lack of oxygen? Is it the fact that he's concussed? Is it the fact that he doesn't know what time it is? Mm-hmm. Part of me now is thinking it's all three in one combo of him just going insane. Where he doesn't know, he's talking to somebody on the radio, he doesn't know who it is, and I'll break that scene coming up here in just a bit.
Okay, the little confusion scene.
The confusion. We were talking about that yesterday and today, and I was like, I don't know. So
it'll be interesting, that's for sure. All right, we'll talk about that when we get back from the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be
like
right
and
back.
Subscribe.
All right, we're back from a quick break, but we had something to talk about. Adam, not a comment, but kind of a drawing of I guess, curiosity, because there was a scene in Iron Lung. We've been talking about indie movies this entire episode.
Hey, everybody, it's Adam Sherwinski.
Hey, everybody, it's Markiplier. But yeah, so the scene that you're talking about, you were...
It's at the point.
Talking through it.
Yeah, it's at the point where we're getting pretty low on oxygen at this point for him. They only have so much oxygen. There's only a certain depth they're allowed to be at before he gets in trouble. And at this point, it's been you think hours. It might be days. It might be years. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
He hasn't
down there? No, years is kind of a stretch.
I know, but I'm just saying it just feels,
it does feel like
forever.
really long.
Yeah, because there's no sense of daytime. There's no time. You're just there.
Right.
And so he's, after mapping it out, got the computer going and everything, and he's just like at a certain point where he doesn't get radio anymore. He starts kind of going insane after he boots up the ship again because the power went out again. Which was also a pretty interesting scene of just him trying to crawl through the crawl space. And,
that's what I think. Those bottle movies make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and
makes me never want to get in a submarine.
Absolutely, I'm far from that, my friend. That's not happening for me.
I want to stay on top of the water, not under it.
Yeah, I'll just keep swimming is my Dory.
Just keep swimming.
My Dory's way of life.
Yeah,
just keep swimming.
I mean,
don't go below
and that's the
the
thing.
water.
The one window that they have, he has to close because the pressure is so strong and the glass is so fragile.
Yeah, but then later on, what happens with the glass, and it's a little questioning because at first I think it's not real. I thought it wasn't real. And a lot of the things that he starts going through in this Iron Lung, obviously, if you haven't seen it or played the game, you're running out of oxygen, obviously. You only have a certain amount because you're in deep water or
It's not water.
something.
It's not water.
Yeah, it's something else, my friend.
We'll let you know what they'll tell you what it is.
Yeah, go watch that movie. Find your $5 Tuesday cinema in your local area. If
Yeah,
you can,
but anyway, the whole scene is he's got somebody talking to him, and he like goes like, at one point they go, Simon, we have to, and he's like, I never told you my name. And then he just like loses it. He punches the radio, which is his only way of communicating with the outside world.
he smashes that radio with the fire extinguisher.
Yeah, and the thing is, yeah, he punches it, he smashes it, and like later on, it works again. It's just so bizarre.
Yeah, things just start not making sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's where
the
the boulder starts tumbling down the mountain type of thing, and it's
and you can hear the desperation. Like as the movie goes on, he goes, "Let's just get this done," or "I don't want to do this," to just help me. Just get me out of here.
It becomes desperation,
Which anyone would feel. Any human, it relies a lot on the human emotion, and he really dives well into the human emotion of it. Because at the beginning, he just is kind of reluctant. Whatever, I don't want to do this, but I got to do it.
He starts out like what you would think, the convict. Very stubborn or very a little more attitude than more forgiveness, if you will.
And at the beginning, I was like, I'm still feel like I'm watching Markiplier just play the game.
It definitely felt like that.
I will say this is the most intriguing Let's Play he's ever done.
Yes, because also there were times where he wasn't talking, and I was like waiting for him to talk again, and then it felt like, and then we were making jokes in the theater, like, well, I'm it's been a while since we've seen an ad here on this YouTube video.
Yeah, where's the ads at? Where's the ads at?
Brought to you by
Hey, we're gonna take a minute to say we're sponsored by, and then you have to hit the 10-second button, 10-second tech. Come on, skip ahead. No, but at first it feels like you're just watching a Let's Play of a creepy game. Okay, then IRL. And then he gets into the desperation part of it. And I think his acting got better. And I told Mitchell this in the movie. His acting got better as the movie went on. Was it horrendous in the beginning? No, but it wasn't amazing. It wasn't good. It was not, I was like, oh, I'm watching Markiplier 2. This is Simon, and he really wants to get out.
Yeah,
and I think any human would feel the same way.
It gave him a lot of time to get into the character. At first, because it's Markiplier and because it's a YouTuber, I think the audience is naturally going to be like, this just feels like
kind of like when you're watching any other movie and you're like, oh, Daniel Radcliffe, that's Harry Potter, and it's like, no, it's Daniel Radcliffe playing a different character.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So I think it's going to take some time for any audience to be like,
right,
let's move on from this just being Markiplier and actually accept the fact that he's an actor or a character. But yeah, I'm with you. I think his acting got tremendously better as the movie went on, and the more desperation you felt, the more he's sweating, the more he's frantically with his eye contact, everything down to like his lip quivering to his hand kind of being
wiping the blood off of his face.
These little things that add to a movie that is a bottle movie that make it a lot bigger.
Anger, you can sense the anger, the desperation, him trying to make deals to get out.
He starts going through negotiation.
Has to.
He's doing the desperation.
If I do this, you got to get me out. And it's like, we'll try. And it's like,
And he's waiting for them to say, and you'll let me be free? And you'll let me be free?
Yeah.
And then they don't say it back to, because there's a lot of things in the writing and, in the acting that just kind of like blow this up into something that's not
and
just
they go into his background about why he's convicted. Fulfillment Station, I think fulfillment.
Yeah.
So there was an incident there that he was involved in. And he even said that he's like, I was not the one.
Yeah, he was claiming his innocence.
I was the one who was trying to stop what happened. And obviously they're not going to believe him. And it's funny. At first they were kind of like, and then there's a scene where he gets back up because he goes down there and then comes back up briefly just to get a quick talking point, and then goes right back down. But when he gets brought back up, the only time he gets brought back up, he accidentally, because there's a camera button, you hit the camera and that's the only way you can see outside of the iron lung. It's an ocean of blood, so they're not, on regular camera will not work. It uses x-rays, which makes sense. I mean, to see what you're seeing, because the picture is not super clear, but you get images that way. So you have to hit it, and it hits the front of the sub. So whatever you see on the side, or you hit that button, you see right in front of you.
Yeah.
Which you get some creepy images, like skeletons that are there and then they're not there.
And it's also like I was expecting
Monsters.
them to be much more clear photos. I was expecting to see and
that's
be
how
curious.
And that's how they are in the game. They're very grainy in the game. You have to like go,
You're very left up to interpretation.
What's that?
And it's almost like this untold level of these are creepy images, but you just can't make them out just yet. And
yeah, if you ever look at X-ray, there's things you look for, things you can tell are things, but you don't know what color they are. You don't know how dark it is down there. You don't know anything. All
I
you
also
know.
didn't know that. I didn't know that you can't see through blood with a camera.
I'm sure you probably could, but
I'm sure it's to a level that's like.
But that down that deep. Plus, there's probably some fleshy bits as we saw because it's
pressure
blood.
on top of
blood. Probably coagulates at a certain pressure or whatever. Coagulates. That's a word.
That's a good word.
Because remember, it's a moon with an ocean of blood that he has to explore for resources.
Okay.
Because
okay, so they're on an entirely different planet.
They're not on Earth. They're not on our moon. The whole thing was okay.
What's funny is I had no background on this, and knowing this, I think I should have had some background to go watch.
They start talking about the quiet rapture. This all starts because the quiet rapture, where stars just start going out.
Okay.
Gone. Systems gone. Contact with other colonies gone. It's dystopian, futuristic.
Right. Yeah. The apocalypse is happening in a certain way. Okay.
Yeah. And so these stars are going out. Resources getting out because humans are gone. Human populations are gone. It's called the quiet because it happened so abruptly and slowly. And it wasn't a big boom. It was more like
so that's why it's called the quiet rapture.
So there's still that kind of dystopian kind of thing going on. And so they're trying to find resources. They stumble upon one of the moons. One of these moons has blood, a blood ocean. And they found some stuff from scans, but they can't confirm it. And again, with so many people dying and not dying, but gone, I wouldn't say dying, but gone, they're not just going to put...
Obviously, they're not going to put curious what's going on.
They're not going to put anybody down there. They're going to put convicts, people we don't, right?
People we don't need.
We don't need. Yeah. So that's the whole basis of it. Not saying we don't need convicts in real life. I'm just saying that, I'm just saying that that's what their logic is.
Right.
So that's why they put the convicts down there. Something happens to them, at least we get the black box out of the deal. If not, well, they come back up and we'll put them right back down there.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then hopefully they take care of themselves. The problem takes care of themselves.
They wipe their hands clean.
Yeah, well, we got the black box. We don't really care what happens after that. So
that's true.
It's disturbing in that way, but it's also disturbing because it also fills that whole, what's it called, thesalophobia?
Thesalophobia.
The fear, I think that's what, thesalophobia? I don't remember what it's called, but it's the fear of basically being in the water, in the deep water. Mitchell does not like the ocean.
I do not. I've got a story for that for sure.
Yeah, which we'll probably talk about another day.
Thesalophobia is caused by the mix of traumatic past experiences, learned behaviors, and of the unknown.
Mm-hmm. So the people who have thesalophobia are already not going to be
environments like the ocean.
Yeah, and it's an ocean full of creatures we don't know. Again, very interesting.
First of all, the ocean is a terrifying place, ladies and gentlemen. That's my 2 cents on that. We have no idea what's down there at the further depth. Yeah, the creepiest part is that we know more about space than we do our own ocean.
But to me, the creepiest thing about that ocean is it's not just water or salt water, like freshwater salt. It's blood.
It's blood.
Where does the blood come from?
Where is the blood coming from?
And I think maybe it's just an organic kind of substance that just kind of forms. I mean,
formed on the planet or on the moon.
Yeah,
is a moon a planet or is a moon just
a moon? It's a satellite. It orbits a planet.
Were you all also confused about that?
So
maybe it's just me.
A planet revolves around a celestial star, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
Our planet does that. Our moon revolves
around the Earth, obviously.
Yes, that's why it's a moon. It's our satellite.
Okay.
So it's circulations within circulations within circulations.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so there's
space is fascinating.
What was the scariest thing for you for the movie? Like what? Because it wasn't to me. You know me. I don't like scary movies. There was nothing I went.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I was more grossed out at parts because there's blood.
I was gonna say,
I was just like, oh, that's gross. Ew, gross.
I realized now watching that yesterday. I was thinking of this where I know that you are not a fan of.
I don't like jump scares.
The big horror. He doesn't like the big jump scares.
I like creepy settings.
The creepiness is the different part. Yeah. I realized that I do not enjoy all of that like immense gore. Like in the movie,
there's a lot
blood dripping almost the entire time.
Yeah.
I realized I find myself not uncomfortable
gross.
during that, but like almost to the point where I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
all right,
no, I get
done,
that. No, I get that. I think it's too much blood, you know?
Yeah.
Like a vampire movie with blood, that's one thing. But like this with blood, it's like, oh, just
Yeah, it
stop.
was like I was at a point where
Plug the leak.
I'm like, just let him die, or just let him like get rescued.
Let's wrap this
Let's
up.
just like wrap. But also, to what's his name's point? Who said it was a little bit too long? Sam. It might have been a little bit, maybe too long, and maybe that's the cause for that. But
That's part of the reason why I think it's scary is because you're just there for
right,
so long
exactly.
with him.
You're stuck
You
with
think
that.
you think 2 hours is long? He's been down there for days.
Yeah,
Without food and water.
The difference between a whole paranormal movie like The Conjuring or something
Those
a little
move.
bit more
Those move quick.
paranormal. They move fast. They move quickly. Sometimes they have a deep story. Sometimes it is really just relying on the paranormal ghost to scare
it's
the
very
audience.
active. They've got there's action, in some of
Right,
those movies.
absolutely.
This is the lack of action. When action happens, it's boom, bam, bop, and you go from quiet, dead silence, maybe a couple gurgles. You hear bloop, 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 bloop.
To the slightest, or to the very slightest. You're sinking into the ocean or whatever, and that lack of lack of momentum, I think, creates uncomfortability with people
Plus,
because
it's a very old sub too. Like it's already seen its best days,
right, and the
And
setting.
then you're like, fine, we're gonna use that. It's like you should definitely fix this thing up. It's patched up enough.
Absolutely, and the setting tells it for you. We
they don't care.
We gotta take a quick break because we're talking too much, but we'll be right back
talking.
right after this. Welcome back to Binging with the Boys episode. I'm Mitchell Reif. We've been
Da
talking about
boys.
indie movies today. I've got my boy Adam Sherwinski here.
Boys,
The boys, the Binging Boys.
the Bears.
The Bears.
I miss the Bears.
They're not in the Super Bowl this summer.
I know they're not.
It's okay.
We'll move on. We'll back to our. We'll
Yeah,
watch movies.
You're right. You're right. What were we talking about before? We were talking about gross
How we
parts.
talk too much? I'm just kidding.
We were talking about that, yeah, because we went over a little bit. But so Iron Lung bottle episode,
Battle episode. I mean battle movie.
or bottle movie.
They do battle episodes in TV shows though.
referencing the Community episode.
Where they're all just
no,
it's a bottle.
it's a bottle episode.
Where they're trying to look for Annie's pen and they
Annie's
just
pen,
stuck
yeah.
in the thing, and they all want to leave to go see some puppies.
And then doesn't someone like Chang has? Oh, the monkey has the pen the entire time.
I will not say what the monkey's name is.
Look up the name of the monkey.
The monkey is funny though.
in the Community show. But Iron Lung,
Crystal the monkey is actually the actor's name.
Crystal the monkey. Isn't he also the
She
monkey? Or
is
she is also
in a
in
bunch of
Night
things.
of the Museum.
Yep, that's Crystal the monkey. She's like 20 something.
Also in The Hangover. That's the same monkey.
I believe,
too.
yeah.
I'm pretty
She's been in a lot of big movies
Look
that has
at
a monkey.
that. What are we doing with our lives?
capuchin
We're-
monkey.
We're local TV's great, but there's a monkey out there that's doing crazy
I think
stuff.
she's got a star on the Hollywood Walk of
I
Fame.
bet she
But
does.
if not that, I think she's got her hands there on the cement over there at the theater.
She's like, get my agent on that.
Her handler and her
get my handler and my agent on there.
yes, and I want a banana.
And
after
where's
that.
my Duncan?
where's my banana?
Clarice? Where's my Duncan? And my banana, of course.
If monkeys could talk,
If they could talk.
I mean, they
maybe they
communicate, but they
can.
can't
They're
talk.
Just, like maybe they're just not.
like,
talking
hey
to us.
John, how's it going? It's more like. I love monkeys. They're so
Yeah,
cute.
monkeys
They're
are
so
cool.
cute.
They are. They are pretty awesome.
Um,
So Iron Lung, Markiplier did great, I think, in his,
Yep.
But we were talking about the lack of momentum in something in a movie like this,
Which I think is the point.
creates more suspense than something like
Yes.
The Conjuring or something a little bit more horrific or paranormal, where you get a lot of action, so you expect the action, and so when you have a lack of action, you're expecting something to happen even
And it
more,
never does.
and it just like the littlest
will drive
gets
you.
you. Yeah.
Hey,
I realized that
wow,
watching
hey.
that. I was like, I
Yeah.
am so unsettled by the fact that he cannot escape. There's
Hey.
nothing that he can do.
Play the first Five Nights at Freddy's and you'll feel the same thing, especially night one where you're just like, something bad's supposed to happen and then nothing bad happens. You freak out and you're all tense, your blood pressure's
Yeah,
up.
you check all the
And then
cameras and
once
you're
you get
fine.
once you get to like night 5, you're like, then you get really active. It gets active. They get active, you get active. Because the first game, the first one, you're just like, what do I do? What's this button do? What's this button do?
Can't
What's
get
this button
past
do?
It reminds me of that video.
The meme. Yeah, that movie, that meme. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
We're
horrible.
referencing memes. That's how you know this is going off the rails.
Yeah.
Choo-choo.
Regardless, great movie. I think Markiplier did a great job.
I hope he does.
I hope he does more, and I hope he
think
does more.
he might do fast.
horror,
Yeah,
aspects. I think that would
he
be
should.
cool.
Well, that's a lot of his games too. Are scary games too. I think he should do. I'm trying to think of some of his biggest ones. Obviously, Five Nights at Freddy's is already being done. But I think he should do. I gotta look through some of his videos. I'm gonna let you.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
So,
Markiplier, I think there's a lot of horror games out there that you could adapt to
Phasmophobia
movies.
would be a good movie.
I was just gonna say
What?
Phasmophobia would be a great game.
I feel like this game he's played. I don't know how many.
That would be a fun Let's Play. 'Cause have you ever played in
Get Over It would be one that I would laugh so hard if he made that into a movie because it made him so angry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, getting over it is a very frustrating game. It's
Getting Over It.
Yeah, it's a climbing game, but it's yeah.
Have you seen man, I was gonna say
Getting Over It.
Phasmoph-
The first thing it says is Getting Over Markiplier. He's played it enough that like every picture of him is just like wanting to destroy the world.
Anger, pure
Just
anger.
pure anger in the worst way. He's got 8 videos of it.
Oh, I think I've seen this.
He's actually
I've
got
seen
some
this
good
game.
memes. I'm done. I am done. I'm done.
Done. I am done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see him play Phasmophobia. I've got a question for you though.
What?
What would the background be on that game or that movie? Because
Phasmophobia?
there's a million different ghosts. There's a
You
million
played
different
it.
like demons. Yeah, have you played this game before? Actually, I don't think you'd like this game.
No.
This is a jump scare game for.
Nah.
So that might not be up Adam's wheelhouse, but it would be an interesting kind of change or adaptation, I would say, for a game to turn into a movie because you got so many different demons, you got so many different ghosts, so many different things that could haunt you in the house that you walk into. Krampus is also in the game. You're trying to find Krampus, if you will, around Christmas time. The game comes out with an update with Krampus and
Mark.
stuff.
Just Mark. Your next idea is just be in the next Resident Evil movie. There you go.
Absolutely.
Resident Evil Village. There you
Absolutely.
go. Put him in there.
And I know that Resident Evil is getting prepped to do something.
Oh, they're doing.
I'm pretty
I'm not
sure
a
there's
Resident Evil. I played 2 as a kid and I thought I'm out. This is too much on the Nintendo 64. Yeah, I remember playing that game and I was just like, yeah, I'm way too young for this.
A new Resident Evil out live action directed by Zach Kreger, scheduled to be released for September 18th of this year, actually. Let's see.
I'm just looking at different games that he's been in.
I'm almost positive there's no cast list.
He's
that
in
have come
Phasmophobia.
out.
He's done Phasmophobia. You might have to watch that Let's Play. Resident Evil. He's been in done a bunch of Resident Evil. Oh, do Baldi's Basics the movie. Baldi's Basics the movie should not be made into a movie, but if it is, I want him to do it.
It would be cool to make The Conjuring is a movie. To make Outlast into a movie.
I'm sure
you've
would
heard
do.
me talk about that a million times on the on the morning show.
I like
enjoy
that he
game.
does a lot. He's done a lot of the Five Nights at Freddy's like spin-off games that are not from Scott Cawthon. And he's played those games, and some of them he's like, these are actually pretty fun.
I was gonna say some of these low key games are these indie games.
Oh, I love indie games.
They are really good. They're well thought out and they're less complicated and more storyline based.
Yeah.
And it makes it a lot more digestible and investable.
You don't need a bajillion pixels and graphics to make a good game. You just got to have a good controls, good story, good times.
That's true. That's true. Though we believe that. Insomniac don't take any notes from that. Of course, we want you to come out with everything under the sun when it comes to Spider-Man games.
I think I think the cool thing about video games is that there's a market for those who want the low res, good old timey looking stuff and the 8-bit stuff. There's a market for that. I'm part of that market, and there's a market for
I'm here too.
everything. So yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a market for big budget games and things that
I think it just
wanna
depends on the
explore.
mood, the vibe.
Absolutely.
What is the vibe?
Because
That's why I love video games, man. There's so many things you can do with it. We love video games.
We love nerd stuff
This
'cause
time of year.
There's
All
this
times
time
of
of
year.
year, all times of year. Just because there's a lot to do. There's like Adam mentioned. There's like indie games that have a lot of thought behind it, but then there's indie games that are just button mashers.
Yeah. Sometimes I want to think, sometimes I don't, and sometimes I want to cry, sometimes I don't.
And sometimes I want to really throw the controller, but not because I don't. I don't think I've ever thrown a
You're just-
controller. Have you ever thrown a controller?
I've thrown my clicker before
You
for weather.
have. You have.
Actually, I've done it twice.
It's okay. That's okay. Sometimes the
I've
clicker's
not thrown I throw my phone, but I get my pillow or something, but not like
Yeah.
taking the controller and throwing it across the room. I never get that mad.
I think the only time I did something almost like that, but
He's
I
playing
had
Call of Duty. He's playing Call of Duty.
No, I had the Wii strap on.
Oh,
and I
good
was-
thing.
the Wii Sports Resort, if you guys know, and there's a sword version of the game. So you have to like walk around the island or whatnot and like, do sword fighting and whatnot. So it's so much fun, but it was so difficult. Yeah. It was so difficult.
Yeah, this is good. Are we? How many? You're giving. He's giving me the signal, folks.
I'm giving you clues. We got about 40 seconds ish until we got to take a quick break.
Is our last break, and then we got
last break, and then we're wrapping up the show. Well, I know.
Before we get into our last break, can we start the conversation of what we're looking forward to?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Adam.
February now, right? That's when we're recording this, and I will say that now is the time.
Oh,
Pokemon is celebrating their 30th anniversary. I've been saying that. Obviously, they've dropped a lot of Dragon Ball stuff out. It's the 40th anniversary of that Dragon Ball the anime. Maybe it's also the manga too.
It's going to be exciting.
40 years,
and we're going to talk about that right when we return.
Hey.
Hello, welcome back to the show.
Okay, Mr. Fake, you're fake applier now.
No. I was doing the Flynn Rider from Tangled.
The smoky look,
the smolder,
Yeah, okay.
I can't do the smolder.
Keep that smolder to yourself.
So, man. Pokemon coming up on its
30th
anniversary. Mm-hmm. Wow, it's Pocket Monsters. It's been a long.
Wow, you called it the original Pocket Monsters.
I've learned from the queen himself.
Queen?
Right? Yeah.
You mean the master? The Pokemon master?
Oh, you are. I thought, is it a Pokemon master? No, it's a trainer, right?
Well, they're trainers that become masters.
Oh, okay.
Or champions if you win at tournaments.
What's your favorite Pokemon? Is that a tough question?
No, it's not. Fraligator.
Fraligator.
Look, yeah, he's gonna look up Fraligator.
I'm gonna look up Fraligator.
You're gonna see why. And my favorite reptile of all time is.
Oh, okay. No, it's not. I was going to say Stegosaurus, but it's not.
It's not a dinosaur.
I can't remember.
It is an Archosaur, though.
An Archosaur. What's the difference?
Oh, my goodness.
All right. Just get it going. Get it going.
I'm not going to sit here and explain Archosaurs.
What was the Pokemon's name again?
Fraligator.
Because it would take him a million years to explain that.
It's feral alligator, but instead of it's... Yeah, just
okay. Yeah. That thing is cool looking.
So Totodile evolves into Croconaw, into Fraligator. You guessed it.
Water type Pokemon.
Water type starter.
Generation 2.
Yep, Gen 2. So I got that was my first one I played all the way by myself.
Wow. Okay.
I watched the original series, but yeah, 30th anniversary. They're gonna have a Super Bowl. I just found out today they're having a Super Bowl ad. Or the big game ad.
I bet. Yeah. So, I was going to say, this is a big, not a big.
They announced it with Jigglypuff. Game, they're like, Jigglypuff's going to be doing something. I'm like, what's Jigglypuff going to be doing?
Okay.
So we'll see what Jigglypuff does.
Some of the names for the Pokemon.
They're portmanteaus.
Hilarious.
They're portmanteaus.
Portmanteaus.
So the way you put the words together is like a kind of a play on. It's a play on words. Almost.
Okay. It's almost like speaking pig Latin.
Right. And they're sometimes they're portmanteaus in English, but not so much in Japanese, and sometimes they're in both. Like Pikachu is just Pikachu in Japanese and in English. But then you get to like Wartortle and Squirtle and all the other ones, and it's like, they don't translate to that in Japanese. There's something completely different. Like
I would say Bulbasaur is probably the top one.
I'm trying to think of some off the top of my head. I'm not gonna. We're gonna do a whole Pokemon episode at some point.
We're gonna have to.
Yeah. But then there's also Dragon Ball is 40 years. They've got a lot of stuff they're still trying to shovel out, but
new games coming out too.
You just started watching it too, and I'm like sitting here like I can't wait for him to get to Beerus and the Battle of Gods because you've got a long way to go before you.
Yeah, you know what? One of the funny things about anime is when you start watching it, you don't realize how much.
Yeah,
you're like getting into it, and you think this is a cartoon, but then you realize what it really is. Deep depths of story, and that's why these creators make them 7, 8, 9, not episodes, 900 episodes.
Yeah, some are longer than others. There's some that give you one season and that's it, and there's some that give you like
for 40 years.
40 billion years worth. But there's spin-offs and all that kind of stuff too. But I just started a new one to watch, Frieren.
Frieren?
Journey's End or something like that. I forget what it's called, but it's Frieren. And that one's a relatively new one. They just finished season 2, I think last year or the year before. And now they're starting on season 2. Sorry, they finished season 1. They're working on season 2 now.
Okay.
And so I'm waiting. I'm still getting through season 1, but it's very like, how do I put this? There are action moments. It's very not RPG based, but they've got like, a party that's got a mage, Frieren, and they've got a dwarf, Ison. They've got a priest, the healer. They've got the party elements. They go on a 10-year quest. Well, for Frieren, she's over 1,000 years old, and she's like, 10 years is nothing for me. Like,
Wow.
that was a blink in the eye, and everyone's like, that was 10 years of our lives. That's a long time for a human. And she's like, all right, well, we're gonna next time these, next time we have these, what do they call them? Comets or whatever, not comet, meteors.
Lost the word.
Next time we have a meteor shower, we'll all get together and watch them. I know the perfect spot, but it's very far from here. And they're like, that's like 50 years from now. She's like, yeah, that's not long at all. Because she's over 1,000 years old.
Yeah, it's very.
So it's interesting to watch how there's this elf, Frieren, and through her eyes, it's very different on time perspective compared to all of other civilizations. Like one character that's like, young when you first get to the story, at the end of the story is like, I'm really old.
Yeah.
50 years is long for us. And
Naturally.
she's just like, that was 50 years.
And you're like, wow.
I was doing my own hobby at the time. Sorry there, Himmel.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and the characters are interesting to say the least.
But
Because she starts a new part. They start a new party for a new quest, and there's they go flashbacks from when she had her original party, and then the new party that they have now, and it's like very soothing. It's
interesting, but it's a more comforting show.
Yeah, it's madness. I'm so excited. Next month, it's March Madness.
We're finally here.
NCAA basketball, and the Illini look great.
Finally ready for it. But you're not excited for this Sunday because
we were talking about that earlier today. I'm getting more excited.
When we're recording, this is before Super Bowl, but when you see this is after. But
I'm getting more interested after watching a few things today. I wanted a really competitive.
You wanted a different matchup.
Good game.
Sometimes you want, the Super Bowl, as big as it is, it's only as big as the two teams.
I'm not the biggest fan of the Patriots, just because they've had 6 Super Bowls already.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we haven't won one in a while. It's like, yeah, the last time you won was like 2019, 2018. Like, come on, guys. It's been fine.
Look at the Bears.
Yeah, it's like the Bears compared to the Bears. Or, let's pick another franchise that's never won a Super Bowl. Oh, what do they call it? The Cleveland Browns? Never won one. Never been to one.
Never?
No. There's some franchises that have never been to a Super Bowl and never won a Super Bowl. The Lions.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So I was hoping for different storylines that end this year.
What's the matchup you'd think would be a great? Like if you were to pick
the Bears. I'm just
obviously
kidding.
the Bears.
Yeah,
would be
it's
great,
my biased opinion.
But unbiased opinion, what would be the right matchup for? I guess we're diving into what was it, Midwest mashup, or other or whatever other OBS shows.
Those guys will probably dive into it more.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
I think would have been better would be. The problem is that the Broncos lost Bo Nix after the game because he broke his ankle or he hurt his ankle, so he's done for this rest of the year. Yeah. I'm like, right before the AFC Championship, the weather was awful in Denver. It was snowing there. The Seattle was, I think, one of the best teams, if not the best NFC teams. Just a very solid offense, and their defense.
So they're
works.
Still, good match.
Yeah, I just wish that they would have gotten anyone but the Buffalo Bills. There you go. I wish the Buffalo Bills, but they also lost to the Broncos, so that's on them. Which was a really good game. I watched that game.
Yeah, we did see that game. Yeah,
we did watch that game. I watched the end of it.
Okay.
I watched the end of it with our friend Ethan, who is also
a Bills fan,
and he was not in a good mood at all.
Not having a good day.
It was funny because they were losing. He's like, "This game's over too." They tied it. They go into overtime, and then they lost.
Well, we gotta run. It's the end of the show, but
we'll watch more movies.
Thanks for watching. Go watch Iron Lung. Go enjoy some indie movies because you never know what you're gonna find when it comes to an indie movie. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.